Okay, so here's my story. I don't know if I'm supposed to be looking that way or that way. Anyway, here's my story. Well, if you don't know me, I am Julie. I am from Memphis, Tennessee. Here's my story. I'm gonna try to not make this so long, but it's kind of a lot of information. But I might do a part 2, 3, whatever, depending on how long this video is. So, how it all started. So 2014, my mom gets sick, and it starts off as like a regular tired, like, oh, I'm tired, like I don't feel like doing anything, I'm tired. So it started off like that, and so like I said, she just got tired, and oh, this is hard. I'll be back. So the whole week she was just tired. Maybe the following week, she was like, okay, like it was getting worse. Like she couldn't even work anymore. I'm gonna say a following week later, she was so tired that she was like walking on the wall. When I say walking on the wall, like holding the wall and walking. Within, I'm gonna say 4 to 6 months, her body completely shut down. Like when I say completely shut down, completely. She couldn't walk. She couldn't feed herself. She could barely talk. It was very slurred. It was bad. There was a long, hard battle. Very long battle. My mom dealt with her sickness for a good 10 years, almost 10 years. I'm gonna do another video in detail about stiff person syndrome, because I really feel like more people should know about it. But it was a long struggle. It took us 2.5 years to get her diagnosed, and we ended up having to go to Vanderbilt in Nashville. It started off, she was living with me, then she was living with my sister, because I was working at the time. When she first got sick, I was working 2 jobs and going to school. So yeah, so that was very hard. I gotta stop. Okay, so by the time my sister moved to Memphis, and my mom went to stay with her. Shortly after, I'm gonna fast forward a little bit so the story won't be as long. So shortly after, my sister ended up moving to Knoxville. Before that, she was staying in Charlotte, and she ended up moving to Memphis, then she moved to Knoxville. And my mom went to a nursing home temporary until we got like she can get a nurse at the house and all that, blah blah blah. Cause like I said, I was working 2 jobs and going to school at the time, so I mean I had to work. You know, I had bills, my mama had bills, I had to work. And there's one reason why you can't judge a person for people judge their family for putting people in nursing home. You don't know their family situation. And I was there a lot. Most of the time I was there by myself. Like, and she had family. We had family or whatever. I don't want to get too much in on it because I don't even feel like going to do that. But we had family. They'll come visit her, but I was there every day. Now, there was a time where I even got sick for a little minute or whatever, so I didn't come the I probably missed like a week. But my daddy showed, when I said my daddy showed up, he showed up and showed out. My parents went together probably over 20-25 years. And my daddy showed up. When I couldn't make it that week, I had some stuff going on. My daddy showed up for me. He showed me what unconditional love was, for showing up for my mama. And they ain't been together in forever. Probably since I was a little kid. And you know, people try to make it seem like, oh, she wasn't there for her mother. I wasn't there 1 week. Other than that, I was there every day, for the most part. Like I said, I was working 2 jobs. Before I go to work, I'm going to see her. On the weekends, I'm with my mama. So, anyway, we finally got all the nursing stuff situated. She ended up moving to Knoxville, and I ended up moving to Knoxville like literally a week after she moved, because I'm not gonna be away from my mama. Point blank period. I'm not gonna be away from my mama. So I moved to Knoxville, and this was like right when COVID was crazy. So I stayed with my sister until I found the place. So I get to Knoxville. Shortly after, I found out my daddy had cancer for about a year, and I didn't know. He didn't want to tell me. His brother had to make him tell me, cause when I tell you I was so stressed and so depressed, I tried to hide it from my dad. I tried to have my dad was like a mother times 10 when it comes to worrying about your child. So I tried to hide it, but it's my dad. He knows. So he didn't tell me. And honestly, I think this is probably the hardest thing. Between losing my sister, my mom, and my dad, that was the hardest thing. You're not telling me. He didn't want to put it on me. I get it, but I don't care if in your head you could have saw me just fainting. I don't care what you thought my response was. I wish I would have known. How can I help you if I don't know? Because my dad, like, I know he wants to take care of himself. I know my dad. I know my dad wants to take care of himself, so I could have helped him. Then it comes to things where now I done moved to Knoxville. My mom, even though she had a nurse, you know, she got 24-hour care. She didn't have 24-hour care. So even though she had a nurse, when that nurse gone, it's my sister and me. My mom's body was so shut down that it takes 2 people. It took 2 people to help her. So it was like, I couldn't move back to Memphis. So it's the back and forth, back and forth. I had to do what I couldn't go back home. So it's nothing why it hurted so bad, because you didn't even, I don't even know what I would have done as far as going back from Memphis to Knoxville. But I would have tried to figure something out. But I found out it was too late. It was, the last time he was in the hospital, my uncle was like, call your daddy. My daddy won't answer. And crazy thing is, before my daddy went to the hospital, we used to have normal conversations. And he was like, oh, my stomach hurt. And I'm telling him, hey, go to CVS, Walgreens, get you magnesium, this, that, and whatever. Your stomach gonna feel better. Whole time he got cancer. And he's talking to me like he got a regular stomach ache. So that was a tough pill to swallow. He did not want to tell me. I get it. I mean, I can't judge him, but it still hurt. or whatever. So my dad ended up passing in the 2020. So yeah, at this point I'm in Knoxville trying to figure it out, whatever. That was tough. Fast forward maybe a year and a half later, my sister got COVID. That was another tough one. Nobody plans on losing a sibling. Losing a sibling is tough because when you get a certain age, you in your mind you like, man, I can't lose my parents. You don't think you finna lose your sibling. So that was hurtful. Around that time when she had COVID, I had just started my job. They was being weird. Like some days they'll let me work in my sister's house, and some other days they wouldn't. So, of course, my mom couldn't have a nurse. Obviously, they wouldn't come in the house if COVID was in the house. So, I ended up losing my job. Whatever. So, I didn't even tell nobody I had lost my job. I told my brother-in-law like a couple of weeks later. He kind of put two and two together, like I was homeless, but I don't think he knew that I was homeless as long as I was. I kind of made him think I figured it out that I was good or whatever. But anyway, my sister ended up passing. Funny thing is, auntie, I can't say what I want to say about her, but an auntie of mine was going around telling people that I was homeless. And the time I really wasn't homeless. They thought that I was still living with my sister, but I had my own apartment and everything. Like I only was living with them because I came to Knoxville. Like it wasn't a plan. Like I came to Knoxville like a week after my mama. So of course I'm gonna live with my sister. They told me to come live with them. What else I was gonna do or whatever. So by that time I actually did have an apartment or whatever. So people try to speak things over your life. And they did. I'm not blaming it on my auntie, but I'm just saying, you know, it's an example of people wanting your downfall to happen. So anyway, I had an auntie call me and she was like, baby, is everything okay? I was like, I'm good. She said, you homeless? Okay, so I hope this don't look too weird. Ooh, I dropped my phone. But I hope this don't look too weird. I had to turn to my tablet because my phone ran out of storage. And I don't know where I'm supposed to be looking because I feel like I'm looking. But anyway, so auntie called and was like, are you homeless? And I'm like, no, I'm not homeless. Literally, probably a week later, I was actually homeless. Like, I was actually homeless. I don't know why I'm laughing, but I was. So, that was a very long process. I didn't tell nobody. Like I said, my brother-in-law put two and two together, but he didn't know I was homeless that long. He didn't know I was homeless that long. I didn't ask nobody for a place to live because I didn't want to live with nobody. I just didn't. I know people hate the fact that I'm too prideful. I am very prideful. People hate that, but I wanted to get through this by myself. I didn't want to owe nobody nothing. So, with that process of me staying in my car was very tough. And of course, my mom had to go to a nursing home. But that was temporary. It was supposed to be temporary. Of course, I'm saving money. I'm living in my car. So, Lord Jesus. So, I'm just praying, saving, working, going with my mama. Praying, saving, working, crying, going to see my mama. It became my life. So, anyway, I can't even say her disease got worse because it stayed the same. When it's what got worse is the mental part of it got worse because she started seeing things and hallucinating a lot, like a lot. As time went past, she started hallucinating a lot, and it could have had a lot to do with my sister's death. Like, imagine you sick and your daughter passed away. So I really think that triggered something in her, because when I say she started hallucinating so much. But I want to wish my mama sickness on my worst enemy. I wouldn't wish that on my worst enemy. You know, people have cancer or lupus. They have good and bad days. My mama had bad days every day, all day. And it was so... Watching her struggle was the hardest thing. It was the hardest thing. Especially knowing there was nothing you can do about it. There's nothing you can do about it. No matter how many times you flip her and try to make her comfortable, at the end of the day, there was nothing you can do about it. It was a very worthless feeling. I began to mentally prepare myself if something were to happen to her, that I would be okay. So I thought. Because I have a mindset, nobody is supposed to live here and struggle like that. Nobody is supposed to live and be in pain every single day of their life. Nobody. So I mentally prepared myself. Although apparently you can't die from stiff person syndrome, she shut down, her body shut down so much, and she started hallucinating so much. I was like, yeah, I prepared myself for the worst. So she ended up passing about 2 years ago. I'm gonna say this: if I don't care how much you love somebody, when them numbers start dropping and they finna take their last breath, if they're in the hospital or wherever, step out. Step out. When I say watching my mama take her last breath was the hardest thing ever. Like, it was the hardest thing ever. I thought I was mentally prepared for her to go, but watching her take her last breath was the hardest thing ever. And not only that, it represented that was all I had left. I'm not close to my family. That was the last family member that I had. That she was gone. So my depression just got worse and worse and worse and worse. So I just had God. That's the only thing I could lean on was God. People always say, "Oh, you're so strong." You know, I don't have no other choice but to be strong. I gotta be. All I did was prayed and cried, prayed and cried, prayed and cried. Man, whatever you're going through, I'm just here to tell you, if I can get through all of that, you can get through anything. When it looks like there's no light at the end of the tunnel, you can get through anything, I promise you. My life was hell. My life was hell for a good 10 years. I'm saying 10 years because I'm going from when my mama first got sick. So it was hell. But you gotta fight. You got to fight. You got to pray, you gotta fight. You got to pray, you got to fight, you got to pray, you got to fight, you got to pray, you got to fight. When you don't feel like fighting, fight more. Or you're gonna be stuck in the same situation. You're gonna be stuck in the same situation. I'm starting my healing process. I'm just focusing on trying to live with my purpose and good through this. That's all I can do. The past 10 years have been hell. I don't want the next past 10 to be hell. This was so hard to make. I don't know why. Well, I know why, but it just brought so much anxiety. And then I also, in the back of my head, like, I know that, I don't know, I was just scared. And I also know that people who knew me was having, like, conversations trying to figure out, oh, was she homeless? Was she, like, asking people that I'm close to, you know, what did they think? Did they know if I was homeless and not like that? Like, honestly, I'm not even mad at that. Like, most people would be mad, but I'm not mad. Because I probably would have been I know I would have been devastated if they would have personally asked me. Because it's not something I want somebody I didn't want to talk to people about that. But I don't like that it was conversations had about me. Especially from people that I'm cool with. And I don't like it. And the crazy thing is, the person who told everybody was homeless like a year before me. Like, so the fact that you know that pain, why would you tell people that? But whatever. It is what it is. But anyway, all I can do is move forward and work on just bettering myself. All you can do is move forward, work on bettering yourself. I wish you nothing but the best. And we all gonna get through this together. You just gotta keep up the faith. So, and I love you. If ain't nobody told you that today, I genuinely love you.